my sleep. A penguin that can fly. A penguin that can fly. A penguin that can fly. That's why you will find me up there with the birds that have wings. Up there I can see things not seen by ground things. Up there in the sky, there's a penguin flying high, always loving life, wondering how the ground things have survived. Never seen life. Down below me, the ground things scurry by, down among the birds, flying wild and free, seeing things that no one else can see. High above, away from the debris. Down below, the brown things scurry by, pounding their feet while I touch the sky, sliding, gliding, without a care. They'll never know the wonders up here in the sky. I'm a penguin flying high, living life with no questions why. I wonder how the ground things carry on, never experiencing the beauty I thought. Penguin that can fly.
Well, dang it, nothing's working right. And I just dropped my headphones. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Name's Ursu Cyclin. Welcome to the channel. Man, that was so funny. I set up a game night. I had tons of people, and then Tom didn't realize I was setting up a show, and he made an appointment. So I had to go do the appointment, and I pushed back the time. Now I pushed it back to 2:30 originally, and then a viewer needed extra time, so I pushed it back into 3:30, and then everything fell apart from there. I ended up with basically only 2 people. So I decided to call off the game night, and I'm just going to go ahead and play some Scum, finish off playing that. Now, I did end up going into the modifications and making it where it was giving me trucks. It wasn't giving me any vehicles because, I don't know, I had it modified for a server, which the people give out vehicles for free. You don't really have to go find them. So now that I'm on my own server, I have to, well, on the sandbox, not server, I had to go through and modify the server to where it gives me everything I need. Now, I was just having a chit chat with somebody in Discord. So, shoot, it might have been yesterday. Well, let's pull this Discord up. That's so funny. But it might have been yesterday. Let's see. Discord. I went in and I said, so for all the racists out there, now I also posted this over on Raging Tomatoes, which is funny. I said, so for all the racists out there, I have some sad news. Unfortunately, Kyle Busch has passed away. Now, I was kind of announcing Kyle Busch, but I was also taking a moment to trigger the sensitive little moops over there in the hater group. And it worked. Really, really worked. I'm not kidding you, man. Well, at least one of them, Bunker Boy, has been pulling his hair out. Oh my God, you called all NASCAR drivers racist? And I've been explaining to him, well, yeah, I mean, that's something that I've said for decades, long before any of this Wallace incident or any of that. It's kind of a normal thing around NASCAR to joke. It's a simple joke. Race car, race fan, race drivers, NASCAR, racist. Matter of fact, I even called a buddy just a few hours ago and I told him, "Oh, so you're a racist, or so you're a racist, right?" He is majorly. He actually pays for. I don't pay. I watch what I can for free, which unfortunately anymore has turned into almost never able to watch it because they are always pay-per-view now. It went from an American sport for Americans to join, primarily people of lower wealth, to an average sport where they pay $400, $500, charge $400, $500 a ticket. Now, one of the questions asked was, have I ever been to a NASCAR track? And I didn't answer that question. I simply said it's not a qualifier. It is not a qualifier for somebody to be a fan to actually go to the track. That would be like saying somebody listening to a musician can't be a fan of that musician unless they've actually went to a concert. Or somebody can't be a fan of an actor or actress unless they've actually went to a studio recording of that actor or actress. That is not a qualifier. That is not a refute. It's just stupidity. Anyway, so what was I doing that made me 4 minutes late? I kind of was messing around with a guy that I decided to trigger over there in Discord, explaining to him how it was an intentional trigger. It was designed. It was designed specifically to trigger the weak-minded people that hang out in that Discord. And it did. It worked 100%. Didn't even take 30 minutes. After I typed it, immediate trigger. Troll, dude, do you guys understand what trolls are? Anyway, so let's go ahead and share screen here. Raging Tomato. Did she, why do I have a Raging Tomato stream open? Oh yeah, because she's going to be doing, what was the one that I was interested in? Oh, Birthright Citizenship. That's probably the one I'll join. I watched last night her illegal immigrant one. Illegal Immigrants Benefit America, and it pretty much was just a one on everybody on one. And I have some interesting questions for the birthright citizenship, such as what did you do to get your citizenship? Me? I was simply born. Oh, it told me no. It told me I cannot share that screen. That was weird. Yeah, I love the drama on Discord. I go over there and I mess around. I actually intentionally, I go there just to bug them. Just to bug them. So here we are with Scum. Let's see. Hide this thing. Sandbox. Load. Zeus. Man almighty, Angry American was so far off on his argument. The guy was very clearly saying that we do have to deal with immigration. We do have to, but people who have shown to be in this country without causing crimes and actually be productive members of society, we should find some way to fast track them in to society. And angry veterans all like, oh, and you say that you want open borders. No, that was not what the man said at all. He did not say he wanted open borders. He said very clearly that he wanted to fast track people who have shown that they can be citizens of the United States of America, that they can do the right thing. But he does that quite a bit. He kind of he hears what he wants to hear and not exactly what was said. Now I've been over here I should try to lure some zombies with the boat before coming into the beach. Any zombies coming to get me? Zombies coming to get me. Any up here gonna come get me? Nope. No zombies close to the water. Good. So what I was doing there was trying to get the attention of all the zombies, and now I'm just parking my boat. Is that the crowbar? No, I want the crowbar. There we go. And I have a truck here which I've locked. I moved it from out in there. I'm trying to get it down the road, but oh great. I knocked myself out. That was brilliant. Anyway, I've been trying to push it down the road and get it turned, but we're not going to do that because that will take almost all day to get it somewhere where I want it to be. Because I got to keep doing this until I hop the butt of the truck the right direction. They do have zombie fish in here. They're sharks, and you can't beat them. They just take you under. Oh, I got to change the respawn of this. It's all still the same stuff I looked at last night. Wonderful. Anywho. What, did I drop my crowbar in the road? Yes. And I have a crowbar, a pistol. Use my pistol limited. You know what I'm wanting to do? Not this. Well, it's a good thing because my boat's drifting away. Good thing I changed my mind on what I was doing. Now, I have noticed that Angry Vet seems to think that he's got some sort of special privileges. Like he keeps asking for some levity. He does realize that he's just a panelist. I don't think so. I think it's going to turn into that one of those. Once he gets a little bit of numbers under him, he's going to do a Andrew Wilson on her. She's not. She's this and she's that. Or a Powdered Dusty, which is another one which people are like, oh, why are you fans with Powdered Dusty if you're fans with Raging Tomato? Well, first off, I don't know if fan is actually what I've ever described. I go over to Raging Tomatoes. I've talked to her about it, that I go over there because she gives me an opportunity to have different conversations that I would not normally have. I'm a contrarian. I'm usually not siding with any of her little ding-dong buddies. Oh, that's a nice vest. Yes, I need that. And she's not one of those that tries to create I mean, she's created naturally a echo chamber, but I don't think she tries to create that echo chamber. She's very willing to let other people on her channel that aren't exactly following everything verbatim, and it's better that way. That's one of the reasons I like her channel, is that she's willing to have people up who absolutely disagree with her or absolutely disagree with everybody. Get ready to pull out my pistol up here at the top. Yeah, they don't have a way to tie up the boats. See no zombies. I hear a zombie somewhere. Oh, I like that hat. Oh, I thought that was a black one. Ah. Yeah, I wanted a black one, not a camouflage. There's a zombie out there somewhere. There's one more down here somewhere. There he is. That got the attention of one over there somewhere. That was a lot more rounds than I wanted to waste. That's actually a good one for the birthright citizenship because, well, without birthright citizenship, what did you do to become an American? What test did you take to become an American? Non-citizens take tests to become Americans. The birthright citizenship kind of, this is why I'm an American. It's why every American born in America is an American. Now, I understand where they're going to try to go on is, what about two foreign people having a child here in America? Well, if okay, so if two Americans go to another country, let's say France, and while they're there they have a baby, that baby isn't French. The same thing if two French citizens came to America, and while they were here, they had an American or baby. That baby's not American. Now, another one would be if an American and a foreigner have a child. Well, yeah, I mean, as long as the foreigner is an American citizen, it's an American. Now, where it comes into a problem is if the person isn't an American citizen. And so one family member isn't American citizen and the other is. Then it basically boils down to you're not going to stay here in our country because you have a child. That's been gotten rid of a long time ago. They will deport one family member. But if the American is willing to raise that child to maturity, then yes, it's an American baby. Well, so you're talking about like Canada Nightwolf? Well, because they're Canadian. That one actually kind of confused me, your question there. Anyway, let's put this here. Let's get into what's in my hands. I thought I got more weapons than just that stinking little gun. That's all I picked up in that trip was one stinking little gun and wasted all my ammo. Brilliant. That fedora does show black. I don't know why it comes out camouflaged. Yeah, it comes out black or camouflage. Weird. I'm loading up my ammo since apparently I spent all my ammo there. Was that 13 in that gun? Yeah, there's 13 rounds. Yeah, it's sad my game night got messed up, but well, I don't know. Maybe I'll fire it up next weekend. Yeah, yeah. I mean, those are the anchor babies. They don't exist anymore. You can't do the whole anchor baby because I have a baby that's here in America that's to an American partner. Unless you're American, no. Unless the American is willing to raise a child here, you both go home. It becomes kind of gray area there because then you're not sure of let me go find myself another lockbox. That one must have had a bunch of crap weapons that I didn't feel like grabbing. Now, as I said, this was going to initially be a game night that kind of fell through, so I am not sure how long I'll be playing. At least to the first store run. Or the first smoke break. Yep. No, I actually just had a cigarette before, so I should be fine. I just figured since I changed the schedule twice, I may as well do something. I haven't even checked how am I overfilling myself. Almost. I see you, Nakoti. The second Starship launch was a success. I didn't know they had a second launch coming. I thought the one we just watched, Starship 12, was canceled. Or do you mean a second launch that actually made it back home? No, the second launch, so far the thing hasn't actually went up into space without coming back home on fire. Yeah, no, Flight 12 is not launched yet. It's going to launch. It was scheduled for May 21st. Oh, I guess there's a launch today, or was a launch today at 5 p.m. Huh. Well, let's look for that. Let's see what we get here. Starship 12.
How to find the right car for you. Go to cars.com. Look at the car you like.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Find your next possibility on cars.com.
Homes AI, the first.
Oh, I guess we have had a launch, huh? Do you guys want to watch the launch? We won't be doing all that waiting crap. We'll just go and watch the launch. So we're going to start the launch. Shoot.
To zero refurbishment between launches. Now, this pad is still built for maximum safety and fast turnaround because making life multiplanetary will require launching a lot of Starships. Now, it's currently
right
T
now.
minus 18
So,
minutes and
at this
38
exact
seconds.
moment,
We're going to hop over to Hawthorne
it
for a moment
is
for more
in
on
space,
Starlink
it
with
looks
Tyler
like. Let's see,
Lindquist. Tyler?
live.
Back again. Again, this.
But I figure
gone,
we'll
man.
go back
want to
and
keep our
watch the launch. Find out when it launched. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, we're probably right about here.
Currently tracking one. They can
Nope.
pop up
Okay.
at countdown today. We are looking at a green range still, not
3
tracking
minutes.
any
That's close
issues
enough.
with our
We
weather.
could probably skip
We're
forward a
closing
little
out
bit.
once they're tracking
It's like we're at T minus.
And listen to some.
All right, we are holding. We were just waiting for the fuel pushbacks to complete into the prop farm. We did hear that did just complete, so expecting them to
I
reset.
didn't realize they were going to rerun it today.
Clock.
That was the
reset.
12.
Clock is rolling.
The Starship 12. I don't know about failed as far as RUD, but they didn't launch it. It was scrubbed.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
And just in case you're
5,
wondering, RUD is
4,
a
3,
rapid unscheduled
ignition.
deconstruction.
We have liftoff.
Switching downrange.
Kind of neat watching the shock waves from that rocket. Massive rocket.
Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
All right, we are T plus 30 seconds into flight, seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor 3 engines. Booster V3 ascending over the Gulf now, coming up on maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Booster and ship, avionics power, telemetry nominal.
Now this is the very first flight
Systems
of the
looking
V3
good. We're just
rocket.
passing through the
V3
period of
design.
maximum dynamic pressure. A little over a minute into flight now. Vibrations chilling out here at Star Factory as we continue to watch Starship Flight 12 arc out over the Gulf. The next major thing coming up is going to be hot staging.
Booster prop systems nominal.
Reminder, we do what's our version of MECO. Most engines cut off, so we're going to shut down all but 5 of the Raptor engines on the booster. And then after that happens, we're going to ignite the 6 engines on ship while it is still attached. We have clamps that hold the
It's
2
called a hot
together. Those are
stage.
going to retract inside of that hot stage ring, kind of protect them. Looks like we had one of the engines go out, still flying on 32 of the Raptor engines. But again, once we get the hot staging, those 6 engines on the ship are going to ignite. We're going to do it in a little bit different of a sequence on version 3. Essentially, those 3 RVAC engines will ignite first. Almost immediately after, just one of those central engines is going to ignite, and that's going to give the booster a bit of a kick, sending it in a known direction, followed shortly after by the other 2. We're through MECO.
Stage separation.
Here should be the hot stage. Yep.
There you go. Successful hot staging separation. We are not seeing as many booster engines ignite as we expected for boost back, but we are seeing 6 good engines lit on ship. It looks like we just had an early boost back shutdown. Again, a reminder, the booster was planned to essentially head into the Gulf for a splashdown, but it has shut its engines down early on into boost back.
Oh.
And we just see one of the RVAC, so we're now running on 5 engines on ship.
It looks like that
We do have
booster
engine
might have
out
completely
capability, so it's
failed.
going to continue into its ascent.
It's gonna. Looks like it's probably gonna crash
You
into
got
the ground.
booster on the
or
left
into the
there, ship
ocean.
on the right.
Ship avionics power
Again,
and
we are
telemetry
not
nominal.
planning on bringing the booster back for this flight, as this was the very first time. All right, so we're about 3 minutes, 50 seconds into today's flight. Just a reminder that the ship planned to burn its engines for about 8 minutes and change. About 8 minutes and 11 seconds was our planned timeline for today. That could shift slightly as we do have one engine out running on one fewer RVACs.
I'll have something else I'll show you after the launch.
Again, continuing to watch. So booster did not complete its boost back burn. We would not see all of the engines ignite that we expected. Are continuing to get some views from it, though. That's going to make a splashdown somewhere in the Gulf. Reminder, we clear air, sea space, everything for these launches.
Wonderful.
All right, so we are coming up on T plus 5 minutes. Ship continuing to fire 5 of the 6. Standing by for callouts, making sure ship's on its planned trajectory. Again, we are planning a suborbital trajectory for the ship today. Booster giving us some views as it continues to make its way back down towards the water.
Oh, they don't
so
have
a
any
little over 5.5 minutes in
running
flight.
today?
Kate, Jake, you guys with me? It looks like booster's starting to come in hot.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to stand outside to watch launch, and wow, that was incredible.
Yeah, that was really loud, really shaky, and I was actually surprised how fast the booster got off the pad or the whole stack. That was quite incredible.
Absolutely. So we have views here from the booster coming back down, making its way into the Gulf. Pretty cool
I
to
haven't
see.
caught all
pressure's
of
on 5 out of 6. Ship
Colbert's
engines.
show. I
Great
couldn't
news
watch
there for
Colbert's
Starship.
show last night because I got sleepy, but I did catch the YouTube variant of it, but not all of it yet.
Once again, we were not going to bring the super heavy
Did they
booster
fire
back
the
to the
booster
tower.
get
We were
fired back
planning
up or no?
on having it land in the
No.
Gulf.
Sure,
And
we
it
meant to
looks
do
like
that.
the
We meant to do
booster
that.
ended its mission there in the Gulf, but we've got a ship still flying. Great to see that. Still have 5 out of 6 engines there on S39.
Yes, we
No,
also
if you
heard
look at the
good
very
chamber pressures
corner
as
of the
well
screen
on
over
those
on
engines that are
the
lit. We do have
right-hand
engine out
side,
capability. We do see
there's
that
a
we have
white
one
shield
of the
there.
RVAC,
I
one
don't
of the
believe
Raptor
that's a
vacuum
lost
engines
shield. I
that is
believe
currently
it's one
out,
of the
but that's
weakened
okay. Ship is
shield
continuing on.
pieces that they
Amazing
intentionally
views
put
of
there
planet
to
Earth there in the
help
background.
figure out design.
Yeah, I love the S39 decal there. That just gives the ship a little bit of character. And again, all these great views brought to you by Starlink, of course.
Yeah, obligatory shout out to the entire Starship avionics.
Now, after
camera,
this, I
electronics
plan
team
on showing you an
did a whole lot of
interesting
work
AI
to get
robot
these upgraded
battling a
cameras.
human.
A look inside of the ship skirt, you can see those.
It's a
3
robot that
engines
I've been
ignited,
watching
the
for a
RVACs
while.
continuing to fire as well. We did see at least a couple engines fire up on booster for that landing burn before we lost contact with it. We should have just a little over 20 seconds to go. We'll see if the burn extends a little bit for the engine out. Essentially,
Oh, by the way,
run
hello,
your engines
Sirloin.
a
I
little bit
did see you
longer,
come
throttle up a
in.
little
Sorry
bit
about
more
that.
to account for the one engine not being lit. So right now we are standing by for Seco. And again, we are continuing to go a little bit longer.
I also don't believe they're going for a catch on this launch at all.
Five engines still burning on ship. We are coming up on T plus 9 minutes. And starting to see shutdown. RVACs have shut down. Sea levels are shut down. Seeing if we can get an update on the ship orbit insertion, but we have shut down again. We did run longer as we were engine out. We were flying with 5 of those 6 Raptors pretty much the whole time.
Ship FTS is saved.
Hey, there's some junk falling off.
All right, well, we definitely got a ship in space right now.
As you can see,
Man, that is the
teams are
largest
incredibly
RCS
excited to
thruster I
see
have ever
Starship
seen.
there in space. We are awaiting the call out of nominal insertion. So we're going to stand by for that. We can see the flaps moving here, actuating. But wow, the cheers here in the lobby are certainly almost as loud as liftoff
Hey, you
was.
see those huge RCS thrusters?
Man, a
I've
lot of
never
action
seen any
going
that
on.
big.
And,
That's
you know,
huge.
we said at the top of the show, excitement guaranteed. And we're only 11 minutes in. We still have a lot more to go
Applause
here
now,
on the
please.
mission today. So all objectives are done on the booster. So now all eyes are on the ship as we get ready for our in-space objectives.
Exactly. So like I said,
They're
we're
gonna
still
give me
standing
something to
by to hear
drink.
the call out for nominal
back.
orbital insertion,
I
but
don't
we've got a few
think I
minutes
have any coffee made.
before the next milestone. So we're going to
I might just have a
continue.
glass
We've
of
got
milk.
some amazing views here of the ship. Wow, it's just that this is our planet. This is our home.
You don't see satellites? I watch satellite races every night. I've even seen
As a
these
reminder, the
Starlink
objectives
go
for
over.
ship
It looks
today
like a train.
not only included the
like a,
separation that we saw, but
almost
we're
if you
also
would, a
planning to
Christmas
deploy
train.
20 Starlink simulator satellites, as well as 2 Dodger Dog satellites. That's what our internal teams refer to as our newer satellites. We saw a preview of those earlier. We should see those deployments here in a little bit. We're also hoping to perform a relight of a Raptor engine as well.
Yep, that's exactly right. And the relight will look a little bit different this time. We're hoping to get a little bit of a longer duration. Of course, we got to see once we get there. And that relight won't actually be changing our orbit necessarily, but we're doing it more so as a technology demonstration.
For those of you that maybe just recently tuned in, you missed a pretty exciting
I went to go
almost
out and
13
get
minutes.
some milk, and Tom asked me
we
a
had
good question.
a
He
liftoff
asked about
pretty
the
much on
satellites.
time,
What,
almost
are
right
they going to be
exactly
putting up
at
satellites?
5:30 p.m. We did
Yes,
have a
they're going to be
brief
sending
hold
out
at the
dummy
T-minus 40
satellites.
second
They just
period,
crash
but we were
right
able
back
to
into the
proceed
atmosphere
through
and
that,
burn
and we
up.
saw a
They're
gorgeous
not like
liftoff.
the actual
Jake and I were able
Starlink.
to stand outside
But that is the
and
plan in the
witness that
future.
with all of our colleagues,
there
and
might
what a
be,
moment. I'll tell
I
you
don't know
what,
how
it is
many's
a heck
on
of a
this
lot
one, but
louder
in the
out here
future
than
they
it was
plan
at
on
Ad
having
Astra.
upwards of 60 satellites launched
Absolutely.
at once.
And a couple of things
Hey,
I
Keebler,
noticed
how
on
you
the way
doing?
uphill today on the ship. So obviously it looks like we lost one of the
We
RVACs on the
launched
way,
about
but that is a good way to
40 minutes
demonstrate our
ago. We're
potential
40
engine out
minutes
capability
behind.
there. So
Exactly.
I was
and I
playing
think
a
we actually
game
saw
until
the 3 gimbaling engines
the
kind of
viewers pointed out
gimbal
to
over
me,
a little bit to
hey,
compensate
we
for
got a
that
new
offset in
launch.
thrust. So that was really cool.
So I
That's something
figured
I
I'd
know
go
the
over and
team's
watch
been
that.
we've analyzed that since Flight 1 all the way back. So
And then after
it's
this,
something
I'm
that
going
we've
to show
thought
a
about
little
quite
bit
a
of
bit,
a AI
and it was kind of cool to see it in
battling a
action
human.
in real life today.
Yeah, absolutely. If you couldn't tell, Jake is on the Raptor team.
Yeah. But one non-Raptor thing I noticed also back on the when we had the shot of the aft flaps, it's a little weird. We have tiles on the leeward side, so not on the side where we're going to see heating. And you might be asking, why are we putting tiles there? I had the same question actually. So I talked to some of our heat shield engineers the other day, and we're actually running. Yeah, here's the shot right here. Great. So the fact that we're seeing all these tiles still on the flap right now is really good, because that actually was one of our experiments where we wanted to test different connection methods on the way uphill on ship. So actually ascent. So it looks like most, if not all, the tiles are still hanging on there. So that's actually a really good data point.
Looks pretty good to me. Now, once again, this view is from the side of Starship, which is basically the second stage of the Starship vehicle as a whole. This is one of the flaps on the vehicle that helps to control its position and attitude as it is orbiting, and also helps to control during re-entry as well. That's a critical phase. I mentioned earlier that we're hoping to deploy those Starlink satellite simulators, as well as perform an in-space relight of a Raptor engine. If all of that goes well, we will be targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. We heard from Suren on the recovery team a little bit earlier. They are standing by waiting to receive the ship that we see here.
All right, let's send it upstairs. Dan, how's it looking?
Hey guys, we are looking good. It does look like we are within bounds of what we analyzed if we were down one of our RVAC engines. So I wouldn't call it nominal orbital insertion, but we're in
Well,
on a trajectory
NVIDIA
that we'd
has
analyzed and
recently
it's within bounds.
signed a
So
plan to use their
teams continuing
AI
to work through it with
chips,
that engine out.
or
They're
use
working
their graphics
through some steps on
GPS
the
units
engines.
for
We
AI.
probably will end up
So
skipping
we'll
the
probably
Raptor
be
relight
slowing down on our
for
graphics card
today, but it
production over
sounds
the
like we
next few
should still
years.
be on for payload deploy, at least at this time. So very dynamic moments right here with the ship, but we do have it in space. It is on a trajectory now, headed towards the other side of the planet.
Wonder if it'll
and
ever
a
come home
splashdown
without being
in the
on
Indian
fire.
Ocean. It's going to start to get darker. We're heading into an orbital sunset, so we're gonna have darkness for a little bit, and then it'll brighten up once we're on the other side of the planet, and hopefully looking at some good
Hey, that's
daylight.
pretty
when
good.
we
I haven't just
re-enter
drank a
into the
plain
Indian
glass
Ocean.
of milk in years. That's really tasty. I used to work bovine. I managed a bovine barn, and I get fresh milk every morning. I would drink a gallon before I'd go back 4 hours later to work to go milk more cattle, and I'd bring home another gallon, and 4 hours later I'd go back to work to milk more cattle, and I'd bring home another gallon. When I was younger, I drank milk like it was
All right,
it
so
was
we're a little
basically
over
water.
17 minutes into flight. If you're just now catching up with us, we did see a liftoff right at the top of our window. Super Heavy getting off the pad, initially lighting all 33 of those Raptor engines, got through a successful hot staging, initially lit 6 engines on ship, had 1 RVAC go out on the way uphill, but still able to make it into
But what
space.
I'm going to show you after this launch,
and right now we're
is
trying
kind
to
of
see
scary.
if we are going to get into payload
They're
deploy
already
still.
working on putting us out of work.
Coming up right on the part of the timeline.
They're
when
already
we were
working
expecting
on
it. You look
the robots
inside
taking
a
our
Starship
yarbs.
there. Oh, I see a door opening.
Hey, there's the
Looks like Hal
door.
didn't wait. Pez door is open. Just a
Hal.
reminder, we've got 22 deployables in the payload bay today. 20 of those Starlink mass simulators,
Oh
and
man,
then
I
2
missed the
are
cream on
Dodger
top of
dogs,
milk for my
as we
coffee.
like to call them
You
internally.
just let it sit there for a
Sitting out
little
their
while
modified
and build
V2
up on
Starlink
top, and then
satellites.
scoop the whole layer of cream off into a separate
Those
jar.
are going to be testing a bunch of
Best
components that
coffee
we're planning to
creamer
fly
in the
on
world. However, now
Starlink
when I was
V3,
working the
and we've
bovine
also
barn,
got them
I
outfitted
would actually
with
go in
a
in the
number of
morning. One of the
cameras
first things
for
I
another
did,
tech demo that we're
milk
trying out
straight out of the
on
teat,
this
squirt,
flight.
squirt, squirt right
We
into my cup.
definitely are looking for a way that we can look at
Yum.
Starship's heat shield while it's still in space. You can kind of only see so
Oh,
much from the cameras
is my
and the
audio
flaps.
real
You can't
quiet?
see everything kind of on the underbelly, and one of the only ways you can do that is if you got something else flying near it. So we're going to attempt to our final 2 satellites going out the door have a
Is that
suite of
better for my
cameras on them
audio?
that are going to be
I'm
looking
not sure.
back at
I
the ship.
turned it up a little bit.
We're going to be in nighttime, and so we've got sounds like we're getting into payload deploy. We'll be in nighttime.
I
They've
can
got some
also turn
powerful,
down NASA's audio.
flashlights on them to try and illuminate the ship's heat shield while we fly away from it. So
I didn't know. See, you guys should
you
tell
see
me
some
this way
Pez
earlier
motion?
than this, man.
Pew, pew.
Oh, and they've made the rack faster, by the way. It used to be quite slow, so supposedly we're going to see it drop and then push it out relatively quickly.
As a reminder, that's one of
It's
the
still
things
pretty
that we
slow.
upgraded in version 3. Kind of gave a little soup up to the Pez dispensers. So
It's
those
still pretty
satellites
slow,
gonna go
guy.
out a little bit quicker than they did on previous Starship flight tests. So first 2 out the door, 2 more on their way out.
Well, thank you very much, Keebler. Thank you very much. I really didn't have
We're
any
down
plan
18
to
to go.
share this NASA video, or it's not NASA, it's SpaceX, by the way. But I didn't really have a plan
Flexing
to
my
share
basic
this
math skills
SpaceX
here today.
video. It was notified to
Again,
me that they
the
did try to
majority of this
relaunch
stack,
it.
20 of
So
these 22 satellites, they're
here
essentially
we
just
are.
mass simulators, so they're roughly the same size
And
as the
apparently,
Starlink V3 sats
Nightwolf was
that we're
saying,
hoping to
did it
fly
landed? Was
later
that
this
Nightwolf
year.
or Nakoti? No, we'll play back. Okay, never mind.
And from this top-down view, so you're looking down at the stack, those two satellites you see on the very top, that they'll look very different. They've got solar arrays. They've got a bunch of other deployables on them that we're going to be testing out that are going to be V3 tech, and they've got 3 engineering cameras and then 1 other camera that's
Oh, they've got a working camera or working satellite on this
space.
launch?
But we will see how that works. Again, this very much a tech demo. We're going to deploy those. The satellite's going to kind of try and turn everything on, look back at Starship, and the primary reason we're trying to do this is to get some views of the heat shield.
We're going to get a view back at Starship.
All right, 2 more out the door.
2 more out the door, and I think
it burns up in the
that comes up to
atmosphere.
8 total.
As you can tell, the teams are stoked to see this demonstration happening. It's pretty incredible to see this happening live from space. Now, as we noted earlier in the show, but worth repeating, this Starship version 3 is built to deploy up to 60 of Starlink's more advanced V3 satellites. Everything's V3.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Satellite. Now that is 20 times more than each Falcon 9 does today. Incredible.
All right, I think that's number 10 going out the door.
I didn't know they had a live satellite on this one.
There it goes.
That's kind of cool. So we'll be able to see as it goes out the door back.
So yeah, the camera view you have on your left screen there is basically right at the bottom of the payload volume. So
I wasn't going to get into the bickering too much behind it. It's SpaceX, Elon Musk, NASA launches from Florida, NASA actually launches from several locations.
Camera that we have
but
positioned
this
so
is
that you can see
SpaceX spaceport in Texas. Has nothing to do with NASA. It is, however,
sliver of light.
a
We can
part
see the
of
Starlinks,
the
here deploying as each one comes through.
what do they call the stupid militarization of space now?
As we mentioned, we have 20 of these Starlink simulator satellites, and then we have 2 of these specially modified, as we call them, Dodger dogs here around here. Those, as Dan mentioned earlier, they have some V3 tech on them, some solar arrays, and those will be the last 2 that will be deployed today.
Yeah, that's right. And seeing this, as I think Dan called them turbocharged or supercharged Pez dispenser, it's definitely coming out much faster than our previous flights.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about the Wallace.
Yeah, look at that. And especially once we, fill Starship up all the way with around 60 or so of these Starlinks, being able to deploy them fairly expediently, is going to be important for designing the overall mission profile.
Yeah. Now, fans of Starship may know that Starlink enables lots of unprecedented.
What do we have? 3
both from
more or
space,
4
as we
more to
see
go?
here, and on Earth. In addition to the dozens of cameras on Starship itself, we also
Looks
have
like 3
mobile
more.
Starlink camera kits deployed in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, Starlink also connects our aerial cinematography units on the ground at Starbase and at other strategic camera spots around Texas.
It's all part of how it all comes together to tell the incredible story of Starship both on and off planet.
Yep.
All right, we're getting low on the stack. It looks like
Well, it looks like we got two more
of those simulators to go out, and then it will be time for our Dodger Dogs, those modified Starlink satellites. Just a couple of updates while we continue to watch payload deploy. Did get confirmation we're going to be skipping that relight of the Raptor engine, just due to everything that we saw on the way uphill.
But they're not high enough, so
engines,
even
we're gonna
that
use them for
actual
landing burnout. They
Starlink
are still capable
with the
to be used
solar
for that.
array there
So we'll still
isn't
look
going
to
to
do a
stay in
controlled
orbit,
landing in the Gulf,
at least as far as I
but
know.
no in-space relight.
Yeah, we've already tested the
All right, I think
in-space
that's
relight. We don't
19
need
and
to
20
test
headed
it
out the
again.
door. And then coming up are our Dodger Dogs. So these are modified V2 Starlink satellites. We do have a number of cameras on these that are going to attempt to look back at Starship. We're not going to get this video in real time, but we're going to try.
Oh man, I thought we were going to get it in real time, or at least
So we don't worry.
beam
If we get
down.
views of Starship from these satellites, we will be sharing.
Oh, I thought I was going to be able to see it today.
And these will be exciting because again, they're really a tech demo, getting our chance to test out some of the technologies for version 3. All right, I think that's 18 and 20. My basic math skills are failing now. All right.
We got one more. We got one more, guy. It's all right. We got one more.
We're standing by for Starship, basically to serve the first Dodger Dogs to low Earth orbit.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen is they're going to post it on SpaceX later.
One out the door. And from this view, you can kind of see on the right side of the satellite, you see some bright white spots. Those are our flashlights. Beneath them, the camera is going to attempt to look back and image Starship's heat shield as it flies slowly away from the vehicle.
And so far, this is the first real satellite that this craft has launched. We got the sun in our face. Lovely.
Light. Yeah, it almost looks like the light is just shining right at us there.
If you couldn't tell.
Oh, that might be a light for the satellite to see.
Always sunny in space, and that looks like an empty payload bay. So
sure does.
That's exactly what you want to see there. That's great. So
No,
yeah,
it
with
was sun.
payload deploy complete. Oh, you can see the door closing there. All right, there we go. So yeah, with payload deploy complete, Starship will now close its. Yeah, Starship, we closed the payload door, and we're going to continue to coast around Earth all the way to the Indian Ocean. So still a lot of major events to come today. Sounds like we're not going to hit that Raptor relight based on what Dan was saying, but after that, of course, we'll have the atmospheric reentry and splashdown. And with that, we're going to go on another quick coast.
So sit tight, enjoy some
Yeah, I heard
amazing
him say it was a
views and
flashlight, but it
space
kind of
jams,
looked like the
course.
sun.
And we'll be back in a few minutes for
But it may
Raptor
have been a
relight.
flashlight.
Excuse me, not for the relight.
He
but
said it was
we'll
a
be standing by
flashlight.
for atmospheric reentry.
Because I could see the sun on the wing there. Oh, game music. I guess I could leave it go. I'm going to step out for a quick smoke. That image is from the wing, by the way. It's like the most cringe music. Oh, I see atmospheric interaction. Little plasma starting to build up. I'll copy it and watch it in a little bit. Oh, there's our camera view. There's our camera view. Nice. I'm glad they didn't wait hours to release it. I would have been mad. I've noticed a lot of the heating is not present anymore. There's a little bit of browning in the middle of the craft there, but not all across it like it was.
Surprise. Looks like our cameras did work. We've made contact with both of those satellites. We're going to roll that back again.
I'm also trying to copy what you posted here.
From one of those satellites as we deployed. It looks like this was from the last one out. Flashlight turning on, taking a
I don't
look
know
at
why they
Starship
won't allow
in
me to copy
space.
from StreamYard.
The way this system is set up is the satellites are essentially recording it, then making contact with our Starlink constellation, and then transferring that video back down to us on the ground. That's a Starship in space. So aside from just being really cool, this was our test to try and develop a free flyer that we could fire outside of Starship's payload bay, look back at it, and then do essentially a pirouette with Starship to get a look.
Yeah, I
at
haven't been able to pull it up yet. I have several
when we
things.
start bringing these things back for a catch, which we are hopefully doing.
And I'm
in the
also
not too
sharing
distant
audio,
future,
so it will
as they
come
are
up.
intended to be fully reusable. But this will give us an opportunity to look at the heat shield while Starship is still in space. So there was a glimpse. We'll see if we get any more video down from those satellites. But I mean, that's one we've been chasing for a while. So really cool to see it come to fruition here on Flight 12. All right, coming up on 40 minutes into the flight, and we should start hitting the reentry period in the next 7 minutes or so. You'll start to see a light show building up. As we had talked about, we did skip that on-orbit relight of the Raptor engine. It was not needed for our trajectory or anything. We are on this suborbital.
So I have that
to
saved
splash
for
down
later
in the Indian
viewing.
Ocean. We are going to attempt a landing burn. We'll see how they perform when we get there. And just a reminder, we are going to be stressing the ship on the way in. We're going to intentionally do a maneuver where we're going to kind of pitch the nose up and deploy those bottom flaps to really put a lot of pressure on them. So we'll see how it does through that maneuver. And then we'll be doing kind of a final banking turn before we get to a landing burn. So all that coming up.
This May, save up to $200 on select sets of 4 tires.
Get Spectrum fiber-powered internet and 2 Spectrum.
You know, I thought about buying the
just
YouTube
$30
Premium because both Tom and I would be able to remove the commercials, but it's so expensive, it's not worth it. It's really not. It's really not worth paying that much just to remove some commercials. Maybe Uber already paid too much to stream. Now, it's my choice. I choose to use StreamYard, which is kind of expensive, so it's my choice, but it does cost me to stream, so I don't see throwing more money into YouTube Premium to skip commercials. I'm not worried about it. It's just as easy to hit the skip button. Man almighty, that's almost... And if you're wondering, all the plasma is because they're using the atmosphere as kind of a drag brake. I will say, though, from what I've seen, it doesn't seem to be cooking itself as much as it has been in the past. Like the wings on this version, the B3, don't seem to be buckling as much as at all. I don't see any buckling. I most certainly don't see any cooking at the hinges, which was a problem with the prior one. And it seems to be keeping all of its heat shield tiles, which was a prior problem with the prior version of the craft. Hey, Ironton Otter. Hope you had a fun trip. Enjoy the Z's. I mean, not really much else happening at the moment. doesn't matter if you spam the chat a bit. Yeah, this craft's doing much better. Much
Welcome
better.
To Starship Flight 12, the first test flight of Starship version 3. As Dan mentioned earlier, we were able to make contact
Hello,
with
Susie.
the modified satellites just shortly after deployment. And as you may have seen, we got some
Susie
sweet views of those
is
stats
me.
looking back at the ship. Pretty cool to see.
Yeah, those views were incredible.
Now, as you see on your screen, currently the ship is re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. This is the plasma starting to build up on the exterior of the vehicle. Now, we do not plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's right. And re-entry is a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship's systems perform. Re-entry is an extremely demanding portion of flight where we essentially have to scrub all of the energy we use to launch the rocket back off in reverse. So the 18 million pounds of thrust that we had off 33 of those Raptor engines.
Just a little.
Just a little. We're now, and then another, several minute burn on the ship. We're now basically undoing all that energy here via aerodynamic braking, essentially. And of course, Starlink is a big part of it.
I already told everybody that, guy.
Us to actually gather this data and show these live views. And again, the data gathering is really the main reason why we're doing these flight tests. So Starlink provides us just one more path to collect that data.
Hinges still look
that ultimately
good.
allows us to rapidly iterate Starship's design.
Now, if ship manages to make it all the way through re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere.
And why I mentioned the hinges, that was the weak point in the last
more than 5
design.
times the speed of sound. Now, we do anticipate
Yeah, I
that
figured
it
that
might
when
be a
I
little
said
bit of a
hello,
spicy
I
re-entry, so
kind of
we'll see how
realized
far
it
we get.
almost instantly and was
Re-entry
like,
is typically a portion of flight
but
where we don't have communications with the spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, roughly 8 kilometers per second, or for those of us that think in other units, roughly 5 miles per second. At those speeds, the spacecraft is moving through the atmosphere and it creates that plasma field that we saw forming around the vehicle.
Yeah, and although the plasma looks really cool, it does distort some communication frequencies. So it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication. Of course, thinking long-term here, Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. That's why we're going with the propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes. Propulsive landing, not only, again, is it more cool, but it enables a more rapidly reusable rocket.
Yeah. Now, we should hear some call-outs as the ship makes its way back to
I'm
Earth.
sorry to sound like a
When we hear
pessimist,
entry,
but
max
I don't see
heating,
this
and
thing
entry,
going to
max
Mars in
Q,
my
that means
lifetime.
the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads that it will experience as it returns. So if we make it through those, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah. And you can see in the bottom left right now, we're at 23,500 kilometers per hour speed. That's just a crazy number to think about. But as we keep progressing in the mission, we are going to hear a call out when the ship is transonic and then subsonic. So transonic refers to the period of flight where the velocities of airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, kind of in that Mach 0.8 to 1.2 range. And for reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but mostly fly around Mach 0.74 to Mach 0.85. And after we hear the call out that Starship is transonic, we should hear the call out when Starship is subsonic.
I do
This
appreciate
refers to speeds that are
before
much less than the speed of sound. So at
just
this
pumping
point in the
stuff
flight,
in, but like I
ship's
said, there's
velocity
nothing
will be
happening right
slowing
now.
down.
Have at it.
We definitely have a crowd still here in the lobby of SpaceX headquarters down here at Starbase, Texas. Everyone is, loves watching ship re-entry.
All right, so here's the
Don't
deal.
like watching
National
this guy.
Zero-carry reciprocity is about to change everything.
It means if you have a permit, it could be valid in all 50.
What the name is with the ones that see and billions of colors. This is the closest I feel to being one of those.
Yep. I think one other thing that's cool to point out right now is look in the bottom right. You can see where we are on a globe there. We're squarely in the Indian Ocean already, and we've only been flying for 53 minutes.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy. We went.
I don't
all the
know.
way
I'm
from
looking in the
Texas
top
to the Indian
right. It
Ocean
looks like
in less
maybe
than an
one of
hour.
the heat
She flies pretty
shields
fast.
She
That
flies
is for
very
sure.
fast.
has been breached. Just above the front wing.
All right, so the light show continuing. We are through the period of peak heating.
Oh yeah, I believe that whole commercial was AI, which is kind of sad. I mean,
the next 10 minutes.
I get it. We
are
use it
probably
for our
gonna
YouTube
be
channels and things like
spiciest of
that, but just
entries
hire a
today.
darn actor
As
for
a
your darn
reminder, we're gonna
commercial.
be doing some stress work on this ship, where we're going to do a maneuver where we kind of kick the nose up to fully deploy those aft flaps to really get a good test of the structural strength of that part of the ship. We did that on one previous flight test on version 2. We're going to try and do that today. Since we did skip the
I wish I would
space
have
burn, we're
been
carrying a
able to
little bit of
show
extra
where my mouse is.
propellant
Oh, I
in
can show where my
our
mouse
header
is. Does
tanks
that
up
show on
in
my
the
live
nose.
stream?
And so
Right
that's
where
gonna
my
put a
mouse
little bit
is
of
there, I
extra stress
believe
on
that
those
heat
forward
shield
flaps
gave.
as we come in. So we will see if they're able to hold through that reentry. So that will be another watch item. We did skip that in space burn, but we are expecting at least 2 of those sea level engines to try and ignite for a landing burn. We entered the entry period in a good attitude. So hopefully making our way to the targeted splashdown point. We've got that Starship recovery team standing by, and we should be about 10 minutes away from splashdown. So a lot of excitement over the next
I'm not
couple
talking
minutes.
about where this reddish
Jake, let's
color
see how
is,
Starship
just
holds up on the
above
way
that. There's a spot
Yeah,
right
we
there
just
that
heard
it
on the
looks
nest
like
there
maybe the
that
shield
engine
gave.
chill has started. So essentially what that means
Some sparks
is
flying
we
off
are
of it now.
prepping the landing engines by getting them down to temperature ahead of that landing burn later in the mission here.
And on a lot of our previous flight tests, we've been removing a bunch of the tiles. If you've watched those, we were really intentionally trying to push ship beyond its limits. On the last flight, we even had basically a hole get punched into the liquid oxygen tank that you could see when we did the landing burn into the ocean, and this ship was still able to make it. But right now, we're really going to be testing the structural strength of these flaps on the way in. And this is a flight test. We're trying to intentionally find where our limits are. And in this view, you're looking at a whole bunch of tiles. I think Jake talked about it earlier. We bonded some additional tiles to the leeward, or kind of the metal side of Starship, to see how those different bonding techniques would hold up. And looking like we've got quite a bit still attached.
Yeah, it looks like you also lost
And as
some.
we're going down through the atmosphere here, we are at about Mach 16.1. So still extremely fast, although we have, scrubbed off a substantial amount of our speed already. Altitude at a little less than 60 kilometers.
All right, we're about 8 minutes away from our targeted landing and splashdown time. Again, this is when the ship's going to start really
Ship
getting
is
put
approaching
through the
the
ringer.
end of the peak heating region.
I'm talking to
Just heard the
myself.
call out, getting to the end of the peak heating, so the highest temperature the Starship.
Yeah, what you're looking at here is plasma. I don't see that shield's holding pretty well. It looks like.
This camera angle changes as it is attached to the forward flap on Starship. So
And why I pointed
we're
at that
actually
shield is that's the light
articulation
colored
of
ones that are,
hardware,
they
helping to
intentionally
steer
weaken
the ship
those
down for
or
its
use different
precise
glue
landing in
types.
the Indian Ocean.
Yep, that is just a really cool, kind of cool piece of perspective there. I know some people say it makes them a little seasick, but I definitely love it. It makes it feel like you're really riding along with the ship on the way down.
Yeah, and aside from just looking cool, all these camera views providing just really critical data on how the heat shield, how the flaps themselves are holding up. That's why we've got these in the flaps and then all scattered all around the ship so you can see how they hold up. There's some internal to the vehicle too that, and we're getting all of this video back via Starlink, even as we're just enshrouded in plasma. We're able to kind of operate at a high enough frequency to punch through, and that is blue ocean and sunlight you're seeing just beyond the flap. So we are coming down into daylight, hopefully splashing down in the next 6 minutes or so in the Indian Ocean. We've still got a couple maneuvers lined up where we're going to be really stressing the flaps on the ship. So
Ship has passed through the peak heating region. External temperatures are coming down.
Wow, that is incredible news. As Dan mentioned, we were expecting this reentry to be super spicy, but excellent news that we're now past that period of peak heating and that now the external temperatures are starting to decrease. Those heat shield tiles there on the belly of the ship really doing a ton of work to burn off all of that inertia that the vehicle had prior to re-entering the atmosphere.
You know, I'll give it to him. So far, it looks like it's holding together a lot better than the previous
We're
versions.
starting to pick up a couple more G's here, so we're definitely entering the thicker part of the atmosphere where we're scrubbing off all that energy, like Kate's saying.
From what I see, this looks like it's because now they're in the atmosphere, in the atmosphere.
About 5 minutes or so to go. We're coming up shortly.
So I'm guessing that it's not going to have as much roastiness as the other.
Affectionately called the flap slap, where we're going to kind of pitch the nose up on the ship, and you're going to see those aft flaps, the ones in the very bottom, fully deploy.
There is still some rainbowing effect, but a lot less than there's been in the past.
And we're now at peak pressure.
You know, when you heat up metal and it gets too hot and it starts to break down.
Ship flap load test has started.
Yeah, like that wing's pretty rainbowy. And it is actually starting to buckle now, but it's holding together much better than any of the launches I've seen as of yet.
Again, the intent of that was to put just a lot of extra stress on those aft flaps. We are expecting
Radical Coder, I have no clue. Even in his Discord, he completely fell off the face of the earth.
Right at the very nose of Starship.
We were joking about him being in Guantanamo Bay and what was that other one that they opened over there in the Middle East?
Incredibly fast.
Or in where did they build that one? Not Mazalon.
Just about 3.5 minutes or so away from our targeted landing burn again.
And he came in and made one comment that he's
engines light for the landing burn. Normally we plan for 3.
Still watching the chat. He's going to be gone for a while. He's still watching the chat. And that was the last thing I heard from him.
Starting the RTLS banking maneuver.
Very,
And that right there, so
very.
we're starting a banking maneuver, and essentially what that is when we come back to Starbase, or when we plan to come back to Starbase, the trajectory is designed so we'll essentially swing out over the Gulf and do a swoop maneuver to then come back to the towers for catch. And so we are doing that exact same maneuver as we head towards our targeted splashdown in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, and that call out there that we heard, RTLS, stands for Return to Launch Site.
Duh.
So definitely a pretty cool thing we're demoing here on the ship. You know, as in the future, we are going to be trying to bring the ship back to the launch
Catch
site,
it.
which is going to be absolutely insane.
Absolutely. But of
I
course,
can't
we're
wait till
gonna
they
test
do the
out
catch.
These maneuvers, these principles prior to actually bringing the hardware back to the pad. This is the same reason why we were, intentionally not trying to bring the booster back to the pad. So we're trying all these things out in this developmental phase of the vehicle.
You're gonna all the
really
flirts
what a
nuts,
test flight
man.
is.
Absolutely.
Dynamic pressure is coming down.
All right, we heard there dynamic pressure coming down, and I'd say we're in a pretty good bank right now.
Yeah, executing the power slide. We're about 90 seconds away from our anticipated landing burn. Clouds coming up, pretty sunrise on the other side of the planet.
Starship is subsonic and is on target.
The crowd here reacting to that call out, letting us know that we are on target for this precise.
I mean, even if you just got over YouTube for a little while and you were gonna not be broadcasting for a few months, you would think that even telling your viewers, "Hey guys,
This is the first flight of our
I'm burnt
completely
out,"
redesigned Starship.
that should be something you would expect.
Yeah, and if you remember the
it does seem really
flights from
weird.
a few years ago, this is very much the same regime that we're in here. So we're sub 15 kilometers.
I think he ended up in prison. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, serial number 8, the first belly flop. I remember it well. Just some really amazing views of the Earth as
Oh, are they doing a
the
night
ship is
splashdown?
coming back home.
That's bogus.
Thanks, Starlink.
Evening.
Yeah, you can see the aft flap there making minor corrections.
Starship is turning for final approach to landing site.
Look at that turn.
There we go. Minor corrections and a full turn.
Yeah, Starship doesn't fly like an airplane. It's a lot more like a skydiver. Full belly flop on the way down, using those flaps similar to arms to help change the path of the air over you. Coming up real soon. Again, going for a landing burn, trying to light 2 of these Raptor sea level engines.
Landing burn startup.
Landing burn startup. 2 engines lit. Successful flip. Buoy can
Starship is landed. Good shutdown.
And gonna go boom. Hey man, it actually did very good this time. Much better. As far as it landing on its side, and once the water hits it, it can only exchange energy. But very, very, I think this one was very good landing actually. Much better than the rest.
As weird as it may sound to hear, but it is the truth.
Absolutely wild. At the beginning of the show, we guaranteed excitement at the beginning of the show, and I'd say Starship delivered.
Absolutely. An incredible day for Starship. That was the first flight of that completely redesigned vehicle. As you can tell, the
Yeah,
teams
as
are
far as
incredibly
it
proud
destructing
of what
once
we just
it
saw.
hit the water, that's
Yeah,
normal.
V3
That's
definitely
normal.
showed up. That was
So
now
basically,
the
what happens there is the ship
pretty
is
happy
extremely
crowd
hot.
in the
We're going to go
control
ahead
room.
and close this real quick. The ship is extremely hot, and hot, cold water, it's going to go boom. You get what I'm saying, don't you? That it's a very hot ship coming in. As soon as it touches that water, the energy has to transfer somewhere. It's going to transfer to tanks. Boom. And until we stop landing it in the water, as soon as it lays on its side, that's what we'll see. That's kind of that's kind of expected, if you will. So I had this other share here, and we'll run this for a little while. Now, you guys were talking about AI. I guess apparently we're not going to be playing Scum. Oh, I wonder, I just logged off while I was up on a ladder. I wonder if that'll affect that. Oh, I hope I didn't just mess up everything. Where is this broadcast? I'm not finding it. Okay, it's here. There's where it is. Okay. Let's move this broadcast down for now. Move this broadcast up. Okay, so you guys were talking about AI and AI taking our yarbs, or the AI is, you know what I mean? We have to worry about robots and AI and whatnot. And yeah, I do believe we are in that right now. There's Jim and Bob and I don't know, Felix. There's several robots in this company that is working, shipping. Now, I don't think they're actually shipping out packages, but their job task is to take from the pile of packages that are dropped and rotate the package downward and run it down the conveyor so it can be picked up by the scanner on the other end. And he ends up racing a human in this broadcast. That was cool. That was a few days ago that this one was aired. And this is just nuts. Now I have to ask you, do you think an employer would buy this one-time purchase robot instead of having to keep working you and giving you breaks? I've been watching these live streams. I watched one for many hours the other day, almost 2 days. We're going to eventually have to figure out how to feed ourselves. Now, I can understand if they use a robot for some sort of high skilled labor, but this is entry level
Weight loss
work.
starts with a game
This
plan.
is entry
Meet
level
Wegovy
jobs.
Pill, the #1 prescribed GLP-1
I do
weight
not
loss
think
pill.
we should be using robots to fill entry level jobs. Sure, welding car parts together. Sure, you know, anything that takes a higher level of skill. Yes, but entry level jobs, you know, such as stockroom, McDonald's, Now, I will say that the human does end up doing a little bit better numbers, but it's not long. This AI robot is learning from this human right now. That's what's happening. They're using this guy to teach this robot. Oh, this is real. This is real. This has been going on. It's Felix. They've been going on for a few months now. This is not AI. This is actually happening. They're training. Now, the robot itself is driven by AI, but only to do the task. It's not allowed to come up with new ideas. Oh yeah, by the way, the kids missed 2 packages already. If you go back and watch this, Felix is what I believe they're called. F3. Oh, figure. Yeah, close enough not to Felix at all. The kid just missed the label up. So far, the robot's been doing pretty good on the labels all down. Not doing as good on numbers. Right. So is that just crazy or what? I'm going to go ahead and pull this down. I've been 2 hours in. I could just leave this up and running. It's quite a while, but that's just trippy. Oh, I think the bot missed one. Nope, he got it right. One thing I've noticed from watching this, the bot never slips, the kid does. The bot never has a package up. He always has the label down, like he's trying to find the label right now. It is trippy watching the bot try to find the label. Uh-oh. I just was speaking. He sent one wrong. He just sent one wrong. The label was facing out and not up, or not down. If you'd like, I could show you where he did that. Let's see. That package, if you watch, he didn't get it labeled down. That's quite literally the first time I've ever seen the robot just decide, yeah, whatever. We'll just send it. They're working on it. We're almost here, man. We're almost in the movies we used to watch that we thought were sci-fi, and will always be that way.
The Tempur-Pedic breeze makes sleep feel cool. So
I know
no more
if I
sweating
had
at
a
night or
corporation
blasting
and
the
I
air
had to
conditioner.
choose to buy to a crabby little kid who might need the day off because he's sick, or he didn't wake up on the right side of the bed, versus this machine that just does it. Oh, and he needs breaks and lunch and days off. The robot doesn't. This robot runs a period of time before he has to go recharge. Immediately, another robot steps in his place. Don't have to worry about the kid showing up for work. He's standing right behind him waiting. Like I said, the kid does do a better job. He is getting more packages out. He has had errors, but what he's doing right now is teaching this robot. I'm sure maybe he doesn't even know that. Maybe he does, being working for this company, that every movement he is making is being recorded to teach the robot later. But yeah, I think that was enough to give you guys a good shock into the future. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a song. Maybe. Maybe. I can't find my songs. Oh, because they're custom files. All files. Invalid file type. It's done that twice now. It's StreamYard's acting weird today. It's twice or three times now told me invalid file type on something I've played quite a bit. It's not hard at all, and that's what I was trying to say, is that this should not be a job that we're teaching a robot to do. We should be teaching a robot to do harder, more skilled jobs and leave the intern type jobs for the kids getting a new job. You know what I mean? It does most certainly make me sick. Anyway, as I said, you guys are awesome. Remember, you don't need to be but yeah, you guys know. This robot's pissing me off. They're going to take our yerbs.
the street, things without feet, like beneath me, and it's singing all what I see, things that amaze me. It fills my dreams when I sleep. A penguin that can fly. A penguin that can fly. A penguin that can fly. There's one with on me up there with the birds that have wings up there. I can see things not seen by ground things up there in the sky. There's a penguin flying high, always loving life, wondering how the ground things have survived. Never seen life. Down below me, the ground things scurry by. Now among the birds, flying wild and free, see things that no one else can see. High above, away from the debris. Down below, the ground things
Ain't got time for that. I got work to do. Cook dinner, like that.
the sky, sliding, gliding, without a care. They'll never know the wonders up here. In the sky, I'm a penguin flying high, living life with no questions why. I wonder how the ground things carry on, never experiencing the beauty I adore. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm a penguin that can fly.